Hello friends, in today's video, we shall go through the concept of network externalities. The concept of network externalities was put forward by Leibenstein in 1950 in his paper Bandwagon, Snob and Veblen Effects in the Theory of Consumers' Demand. According to Leibenstein, network externality means that a consumer's demand for a product depends upon the number of other people who have purchased that same commodity. So it means a consumer's decision to purchase a product depends upon whether majority of the people have purchased it or not. Network externalities can be positive or negative. A positive network externality means that the consumer's demand for a good increases with increase in the purchase of that same good among other consumers. Say for instance, in case of a smartwatch, if many people have purchased a smartwatch, then the demand for smartwatch will increase. Whereas in case of negative network externality, if majority of people own a particular product, then the demand for that particular product will decline. Say for instance, in case of luxury cars, if majority people own it, then the demand for that particular brand of luxury car will decrease. So the consumers' such consumption behaviors are divided into three effects, that is bandwagon effect, snob effect and Veblen effect. Bandwagon effect is a positive network externality. Bandwagon effect is the desire to be in style or in fashion because everybody else has it. Let's take our earlier example, smartwatch itself. Since majority of the people own a smartwatch, a person who doesn't have a smartwatch will think that I too should own the smartwatch because it is a trend now. Similarly, if all those consumers who doesn't own a smartwatch think that smartwatch has become the trend now, everybody has it, so I should also own it, then the demand for the smartwatch will increase. That is called as the bandwagon effect. Snob effect and Veblen effect comes under negative network externality because both these effects lead to decrease in the demand for the product. Snob effect is the desire to possess a unique or rare item which has prestige value. Say for instance, rare paintings, luxury cars or sports cars or antique items, all those products are unique or rare items. So the desire among the consumers to possess such items are called as snob effect. So such unique or rare items are not owned by majority of the people. Such products are owned only by a few, and that gives that product a prestige value. Veblen effect was given by Veblen. In Veblen effect, people actually kind of show off in front of others that they can afford to pay such a high price for the commodities. That is, even though some cheaper substitutes are available, still consumers will go for the higher priced version of that particular product just to show off in front of others. Here we can say that consumers consume conspicuously because they want to show off in front of others that they have a high status in the society, that they are from a wealthy or rich family, etc. So in snob effect, we can see the desire to possess unique or rare items among consumers. So unique and rare items will obviously be expensive. While in Veblen effect also, we can see that consumers go for expensive products just to show off in front of others. So then what is the actual difference between snob effect and Veblen effect? In snob effect, consumers are not focusing upon the price of the products. Rather, they are focusing on whether it is a unique or rare item, whether it is owned only by a few people or not. Whereas in case of Veblen effect, consumers are focusing upon the price of that product. They are mainly focusing on the highly priced product so that they can show off in front of others that they are wealthy. So in short, snob effect is a function of the consumption of unique or rare goods, whereas Veblen effect is the function of price. Now we shall see these three effects with diagrammatic explanation. First of all, we shall see bandwagon effect. Here the example taken is of smartwatch itself. On the x-axis we have the quantity in thousands and on the y-axis we have the price per smartwatch. Assuming that one consumer has purchased one smartwatch, suppose the consumers initially think that only 20,000 people have purchased smartwatches. Consumers think that that's a small number relative to the total population. So consumers will not be much attracted to buying the smartwatch. But still, some consumers will buy it because they genuinely want a smartwatch. This is represented by the demand curve D20. Now suppose consumers think that about 40,000 people have bought smartwatch. That means 40,000 units of smartwatches have been sold out. Now the smartwatch has got more attraction because more and more people have started to buy it. Now again, if people think that 60,000 people have bought the smartwatch, then again the attractiveness of the smartwatch will increase. So in this way, the more the number of people purchase the smartwatch, the greater will be the demand for it, and we can also see that the demand curve starts shifting to the right side. This is called as the bandwagon effect. Now if we join all the points on these demand curves, we get the market demand curve, which is an elastic curve. We shall see why it is elastic. Now suppose the price of a smartwatch is say 2500 rupees, and at this price 40,000 people have purchased the product, which is represented in D40 demand curve. Now if the price was reduced to 1800 rupees, then only 48,000 people would have purchased the smartwatch. That is, only 8,000 more people would have purchased the smartwatch due to the decrease in price. This increase in demand is due to pure price effect. But what actually we can see here is that when the price is reduced to 1800 rupees, the quantity demanded has increased to 80,000 units. That is, 80,000 people have bought the smartwatch when the price has decreased to 1800 rupees. Now this is the bandwagon effect, because this increase in demand is not because of the decrease in price, but rather more and more people have bought the smartwatch, and that trend is actually making other consumers to buy that product, which is why the demand for the smartwatch has increased. So in short, if there was no bandwagon effect, then only 8,000 more smartwatches would have been sold. But because of the presence of bandwagon effect, 32,000 more units of smartwatches are sold. This is why the bandwagon effect is leading to a elastic demand curve. That is, the percentage change in quantity demanded is greater than the percentage change in price. Next we shall see snob effect. Here luxury car is taken as the example. Suppose if the consumer believed that only 2,000 people owned the luxury car, then that is represented by the curve D2. Now if the consumers believe that 4,000 people own that same luxury car, then the demand for that car decreases, which is why the demand curve shifts to the left side. Now again, if the consumers believe that 6,000 people use that same luxury car, then the demand will further lower down. And if we join all those points on the demand curves, we get the market demand curve, which is inelastic in nature. We shall see why it happens so. Suppose if the price of one luxury car was 30 lakh rupees, and at that price 2,000 people were using that car. Now if the price was lowered down to 15 lakh rupees per car, then the number of cars purchased would have actually increased to 14,000 units. That is, 14,000 people would have been using that same luxury car. If there was no snob effect, that is, when the price decreases, demand increases. A normal law of demand is operating there. But that is not the real situation. A snob effect is working there, because of which when the price is lowered down to 15 lakh rupees, the demand for car is increased only by a smaller proportion. That is, the net increase in sales is only to 6,000 units. So that extra 8,000 units of luxury cars not being demanded by the consumers is due to snob effect. This is occurring because consumers are thinking that when the price has lowered to 15 lakh rupees, more people would buy that product. And if more people buys it, then the uniqueness of that product is lost there. Because of that thought, consumers' demand for that particular luxury car decreases. That is why snob effect is leading to a inelastic demand curve. That is, the percentage change in quantity demanded is lesser than the percentage change in price. Now let's look into Veblen effect. Here a cosmetic product is taken as an example. In Veblen effect, we know that people mainly focus on expensive products. When the price of one bottle of cream is 650, we can see that the demand curve is represented by D5. And when the price falls to 500, the demand curve shifts to the left. It means that the demand for that product is decreasing. Again, when the price is decreasing, we can see that the demand for that product is also decreasing. So here what we can see is just the opposite of law of demand. That is, when price is increasing, the demand for that product is also increasing. And when price is decreasing, the demand for that product is also decreasing. This clearly is the Veblen effect. That is, people are focusing on expensive products. So when the price of the product is high, more people will demand that particular product. Now if we join all those points on the demand curves, we get the market demand curve, which is upward sloping. Now suppose at 500 rupees, 340 units of the creams were sold. Now suppose that the price has decreased to 200 units, and as per the law of demand, the quantity demanded should have increased to 430 units. But what is happening here is, instead of increase in demand to 430 units, the quantity demanded has decreased to 140 units. So here the net sales of that product is decreasing. So this decrease in demand is due to Veblen effect, because people are not opting for low priced products. People are only opting for high priced products. So when the price of that product lowered down, consumers' demand for that product also decreased. So hope you all have understood what network externalities, bandwagon, snob and Veblen effects are. If you like the video, do subscribe and share to maximum. Thank you.